Life has many stages. Today, we're going to identify them and learn how to master them. Hello again, everybody. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Now, today we're going to talk about mastering the different stages of life. I'm going to begin kind of backwards today with our thought for the day. And today we're going to take a lot of work from Herbert Harris, who's the author of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. There are 4 types of people in the world: the players, the watchers, the wanderers, and the wanderers. Now, if life were a game of baseball, the players would be the people or teams on the field. These are the ones who have sacrificed and practiced until they're the best that they can be. They generally do what they love and love what they do. They reap the rewards of their efforts. The players use their powers to make things happen. They reach within to that well of power that they've developed to get the desired results. The players take the risks and get the rewards. Now, the watchers are the spectators that are sitting in the stands, watching others play the game of life, watching somebody else get the money, the recognition, and the girl. Everyone who is not on the playing field is a spectator. True watchers are the people who never really try hard at anything. They may dream of being a player, but at the first signs of difficulty, challenge, or disappointment, they discard their dreams and scurry off the playing field of life, silently vowing never to try that again. Now, these wannabe players take their seat in the stands with carefully crafted excuses and explanations for not being in the game. Watchers are generally people who had a dream but let it be compromised. Watchers often say, "I should have done this," or "I could have been that, but I've had a good life." Now, the wanderers, it's easy for me to say, are the people in the parking lot outside the stadium where the game of life is being played. Yeah, they hear the sounds of the players and the spectators, but they're not a part of the game. They know something's going on, but they must wonder what it is since they can't see. Wanderers learn about what's going on secondhand. They live their lives responding to outside stimuli and developing other people's programs. They often see the world in terms of what could have been, what would have been, and what should have been. Now, the wanderers are the people who are lost on the dirt road to the freeway to the parking lot outside the game of life. They have no idea what's going on and no plans to find out. The wanderers are like thistles in the wind. They blow from pillar to post without goals, plans, or roots. Ruled by their addictions and their appetites, they live for the moment and nothing more. Now, our thought for the day is, of the 4 types of people in the world, which type are you? All right, Eli, let's start talking about the stages of life. As Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts. And no, I did not know Billy Shakespeare personally, Eli, before you ask. Now, if you stop and think about it, my son, there are 4 stages of life for the player: education, sensation and experience, power, and immortality. Now, the first stage of life is the stage of education. Now, this stage generally lasts from conception to 20 or 25 years of age, but it varies. Okay, now during this stage, you learn the basic fundamental rules of the game of life. You formulate or accept a value system. You get your basic instruction in reading, writing, counting, logic, and decision making. Generally, in the education stage, you lay the foundation, thoughts, attitudes, emotions, and associations on which the rest of your life is based. It's in this first stage that you develop your basic attitude towards yourself, your self-image. You also develop your attitude toward other people and toward the world in general. It is here that you develop self-confidence or fear, faith or doubt, cowardice or courage. Your nature, positive or negative, thief or benefactor, is molded. The challenge is this first stage is that most of your education comes from other people. You as a child or a young adult, you have very little input into that matter. Thus, the thoughts, attitudes, emotions, and experiences, positive or negative, of your parents, teachers, ministers, or any other authority or admiration figure tend to be perpetuated in the child and young adult. The young adult who has properly completed this stage of education is now properly prepared for the next 3 stages and the rest of their life. And the young adult that is not properly prepared in these stages can run into difficulty. This is why it is my personal desire, burning desire, to change our public schools, because the 95% crowd are the teachers and the administrators in the school, and they teach what they know. What we need to do is start implementing what the 5%ers know and teach that in the public schools. So getting off to a good start, the first stage of life is critical. So you have to learn, practice, and master. That's the education stage. The second stage of life is the stage of emotion, sensation, and experience. Now, this is a stage where you begin to experiment and find out things for yourself. It's in this second stage that you truly experience the living process. You generally strike out on your own and face the challenges of an adult reality. Here you experience love and sex, alcohol, drugs, competition, insecurity, success and failure, frustration, and all the other sensations which make life so exciting, make it intense, and make it challenging. It is in this second stage that many people get stuck. Now, as the stark realities of life confront them at every turn, they can get hooked on a feeling, a sensation, a person, a drug, or some other addiction. They use their addiction as a means to escape or cope with their life situation. And it is in this second stage when your habits tend to make or break you. Here, you must develop and master the art of self-discipline. You must learn to control your thoughts, emotions, and your appetites. And it is in this second stage that you're challenged by the realities of survival. What does it take to keep a roof over your head and food on the table for you and your family, and still have time and energy and the resources for continual personal growth and development? Now, some people get stuck on the treadmill of day-to-day survival, where appetites and crises constantly confront them from the cradle to the grave. To properly move through this second stage, you must master the skill of survival. Now, let's illustrate this particular stage for a moment. I'm going to use two people to make my illustration. The first is my favorite quarterback, Tom Brady. He comes up, he goes to college, he plays football, his parents put him in a league, they develop his character, and he moves on to college. He goes to Michigan, where he has several different challenges, never really gets the starting position until his senior year in college. They have recruited a big-time recruit, and they want to give this recruit the chance, but every time Tom Brady gets in there, he's the one that throws the winning touchdown. So finally they have to say, he's our guy. Then he gets drafted by the Patriots as like the 199th pick, not a very high draft pick, and he's sitting behind another quarterback, and he's watching and he's watching and he's watching and he's itching to play, he's getting ready, he's getting his mindset, he's learning, and then finally one day that quarterback gets hurt. He gets out there and he learns, and they teach him how to manage the game, and then he takes over with the skills that he's learned, and now today he's the master. He's the master. He goes out there and he can identify everything. And one of the things in terms of survival, remember we talked about survival here. You see other quarterbacks go out there and they run and they get blasted. What does Tom Brady do? He knows how important his role is for the team. So what he does is when he sees that the players are about to crack him, he goes down. He doesn't take that chance. I mean, how does a guy 42 years old right now go out there and not get hurt year after year after year after year? Because he knows how to survive. Survival is the key. If you want to continue to move your team forward, you have to be knowledgeable and you have to have the capability of survival. Now, the other person I want to talk about is me. One of the things that started off, I got out of college and I had my certain habits that were developed from my parents, from my teachers, from my coaches. And then I had the good fortune to go to work for a man named Mort Mutnick, who taught me sales. I had no desire. I mean, who really comes out of college and says, hey, I want to be a sales guy? Very few people. You come out of college all idealistic. I wanted to be a school teacher. I ended up getting a job with Mort Mutnick and with his company, and he taught me sales, and it taught me a whole different perspective on life, the way that he lived it, the way that he thought. And that opened up new worlds for me, new paradigms. That's an important part of this stage of the life, is you have to be able to take in different paradigms than what you had in the past. Because if you don't, then you're going to live your life as a child your entire life. The things that you were taught as a youth are going to go with you all the way, and sometimes that's good, but most of the time, because you don't have any choice in who's teaching you what, there's a limitation to what you can do. So you need to go out there and you need to experience people from different perspectives, different backgrounds, different concepts. And when you do that and you can incorporate that into what you already know, that's how you advance in life. Now, the third stage of life is the stage of power. It's in this stage that you perfect your ability to make things happen. And during this stage, you generally attain your greatest successes and experience your greatest failure. Now, having learned the basics of life and mastered your appetites and emotion, it is during this third stage that you learn how to reach down to the very core of your being and pull out just a little bit more of whatever is needed. Now here, you master the laws of success and you help others do the same. You master the skill of multiplying your powers through the efforts of others. It's in this stage that you establish or accept the type of human being that you're going to be. Let's go back and use those same two examples. Can we all agree that Tom Brady works with the players on his team and gets them? He says, this is the way I want it. I know this will work. This is the timing we need to have. He has that focus. He has a quiet confidence that he's self-assured but not arrogant about it. And he works with his people to get them in the right places, to make the right decisions, to see the field out there, just as you in life have to see the field of life. And you have to make decisions as things change because you've experienced it. So now you're in the position of power because you have already had that experience. And what you're doing is you're taking that experience and you're getting it to work for you. That's how Tom Brady is able to reach down and make the big play time after time after time after time. He can envision what's going to happen because he's been there, he's seen it, he's done it. He's had the failures, he's had some successes. He knows what's going to work. That's the attitude that you must take as the leader. Now, as using myself as an example, when I went through all the learning stages that I went through as a salesperson and then got developed into a manager, I had tremendous mentor. Bob Anderson was a tremendous mentor for me. Taught me all the different things. I had the experience. I went to 3 different offices and ran 3 different offices before I became the, quote, manager of my own office. So when I became the manager of my own office, I'd already done it. I'd already experienced it. I'd already seen failures. I'd already seen successes. I'd already seen what it takes to get the job done in that particular industry. So I had the confident power to know that I was doing the right thing. And you don't have to do it by yelling and screaming. It's a quiet confidence that you know what's going on, that you exude to the people around you in your orbit to help them to get where they want to go. You instill the success principles, you get them to see a vision, you get them to see the dream, you get them to the starting line, you get them on a step-by-step basis, you give them constant feedback. These are the things that give you the power to exceed at a very high level. Now, the 4th stage of life is the stage of immortality. No, not what you think, Eli. It's only when you've fully mastered the power stage that you'll be able to effectively move into the stage of immortality. Now, it's in this stage where you assess what you've wanted to accomplish in your life, your purpose. You evaluate the donations or contributions that you have to give the world. What can you give, or how can you live so that those contributions outlive your existence, your legacy? It is at this point in your evolution that you must become a visionary and see things as they can be rather than as they appear to be. Create in yourself something that extends beyond the boundaries of somebody's lifetime. You reach within and summon the forces and vibrations that you can initiate and direct in the present, right now. You cultivate those strong forces and vibrations to create a presence that will continue to grow beyond your lifetime. Your vision of immortality cannot be centered on the self, personal desires, or ego. Center it on the positive aspects of service and benefit to humanity. You must address a positive, worthwhile need in the world. In this fourth stage of life, you may become obsessed with realizing your vision for immortality. This obsession is created by a deep desire to manifest your vision. And it's fueled by total faith in the universe and in your own abilities. The dynamic of obsession stimulates your mental, physical, spiritual, and psychic self. And it takes your powers to the ultimate level. Now, consequently, when you do this right, you become magnetic, attracting the people and resources needed to realize your vision. You'll become invincible, but you will not be stopped. You can't become invincible, but you'll not be stopped or defeated no matter what obstacles appear in your wake. Now, once again, I'm at the stage of, quote, immortality, and I'm not vain enough to think that I know everything. However, I'm at the point right now where I feel that I have some significant knowledge that I want to pass along to younger generation that is not getting that knowledge. And I feel that it's a unique opportunity that I couldn't pass up to use the platform that YouTube provides. I'm in a position to teach the experiences that I've had and say, look, yeah, technology changes, yeah, methods change, but principles do not change. You have to be obsessed with an idea. You have to have a vision of it, about it. You have to see yourself doing it. You have to see that you've already accomplished it. These things do not change. These are not things that people are being taught in schools. Eli, this is my whole motivation for making this channel for you and for others. Now, I can see to it that you get to watch these videos. Whether other people watch them or not, I have no control over that. But I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a contribution. I want to leave people with the concept that we need to make some changes in our education system if we're looking to make successful people following in our wake. They have to understand these certain principles. The 5%ers understand these principles. They try and pass them along. But the 95% crowd, that part of our education that is controlled by the 95%ers, have not embraced these principles. That is my objective. That is the legacy that I'm seeking by using this platform. So that's my example of my immortality. Now, another person's immortality, let's say, obviously Tom Brady is still playing, but somewhere down the road, perhaps he will become a coach or he'll become an announcer. And when he does that, then he'll be able to pass along his knowledge of the game to others in a helpful way. You follow what I'm saying? It's like you take your life's work, you take your life's experience, and you get to a point where you say, okay, that's what I've done. Now I want to pass that along so that others can profit from the experiences that I've had. This is why it's so critical, Eli, to find yourself a mentor, someone that's been there, someone that's done that, someone that's had failure, someone that's had successes, so that you can learn from their story, so that you can minimize, you're going to make mistakes, but so you can minimize certain experiences, all right, certain bad experiences, okay, get them out. So this way, when you learn, it's okay to copy somebody if you're copying the right person. All right, so these are the 4 stages of life that we go through, okay? You start with the education, you have the experience and the sensation, And then you have the power of using that with other people directly. And then you want to create the legacy, the immortality part, where you want to pass along what you know to the greater body of people. And because we never end our meetings on a philosophical note, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.